All right, I'm now being joined on the program by Kasim Afegwa, who is, of course, a chieftain of the APC in Edo State, a former commissioner of information in the state, and a former member of the Presidential Campaign Council. That's in the 2023 presidential election. Mr. Afegwa, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, so victory for your party, but did you see this coming? I mean, considering that before the court...
We all saw it. No, we saw it coming, DEJI. There is no need to even belabor the issue. We had stated ab initio that the circumstances leading to that election were not conducive enough for an Obaseki to win election or produce a successor in Ighodalo. You don't have a party that was heavily factionalized, a party that was, soaked in turmoil, political turmoil. And you will expect such a party to approach the election with unanimity of purpose. It doesn't work that way. Obaseki was very quarrelsome. He was very combative. He created divisions. You have PDP 1, PDP 2, PDP 3. You have PDP legacy. You have legacy PDP. All kinds of, it was quarreling with the Oba of Benin, quarreling with this, quarreling with that. That kind of scenario for a state that is very, very enlightened, like Edo State, where the average councillor can speak English, where the average organizer can articulate, what he wants. So he wasn't, he Obaseki and his candidate were not, in a proper position to champion or further the yearnings and aspirations of Edo people. So we needed a homeboy. From the one we said this. We needed a homeboy whose subliminal humility was very profound and is very profound. And who does not, look at Edo as a visiting place. He has a place in his village, Irua. He has been doing things, to add value to the economy of the state. He was a senator. He contested the election. He scored 42,000 votes. And I told people, I said, before the election, I said he's in a pole position to win the election because he had already contested the election. He has gotten 42,000 people from Edo Central. That means anybody who was contesting with him will have to prepare, double prepare. And here you had Ighodalo. They call him a boardroom merchant. That's okay. He can continue to be a boardroom merchant in blue chip companies. But when it comes to politics, our people, our Edo people, they are very vibrant, they are very enlightened, they are very brilliant, they are very forward looking. They will look for somebody they have access to, they can connect with, And Mondo Kwebolo fits into that equation. So that's why when they were going to tribunal, we told them that it's going to be a mere waste of time.
Now they have decided they are going to appeal against this ruling. Does it give you any cause for concern?
No room for concern. You see, DEJI, you need to listen to the judge or the justices of the tribunal. They were very thorough in their legal explanation. And what they said also set a new tone for legal jurisprudence in terms of political litigations or electoral litigations. They draw their inferences from the Electoral Act, the Constitution of the country, and other enabling acts, and even verdicts of Supreme Court on issues as similar as this. And their position is very clear. DEJI, you cannot complain of overvoting when you have not advanced evidence to buttress same. You cannot dump Beaver's machine on the tribunal and you want the tribunal to produce the key to unlock Beaver's machine. What is inside that electronic device? You have to explain to people. They talk about certified true copy. INEC brought results and everything, and the results they brought were certified true copy. And they said, we don't need to present any witness. This is the outcome of the election. This is our result. You that you are contradicting or trying to controvert what INEC presented, you ought to provide for the tribunal superior arguments backed by evidence. You didn't do that, and you wanted the tribunal to grant you justice. You are complaining of outcome of election results in 765 polling units. Yeah. You are presenting 19 witnesses. Out of the 19 witnesses, you only had 5 who are polling unit agents. DEJI, how would they confirm or even back up evidence to support claim of overvoting in 765 polling units? This is just common sense. Simple law. Even elementary lawyers or elementary law, by baby lawyers, they will concede easily to this, that, man, this was a bad case for the PDP. And I will advise Ighodalo, because I wouldn't want him to be wasting money. Since they say he's very rich and he's a boardroom maestro, he should just go back to his businesses and save us the agony of going to waste money and hiring lawyers to go to the Court of Appeal. What is so attractive in Edo all these years? He was part and parcel of Obaseki's misrule. They plundered the Edo state, like in a custodial manner. I served in the asset verification committee of the state, where we try to look into all of the wellness and the state of affairs of the state. And we marvel at the level of discovery that we saw. So I wouldn't know. Edo people are very wise. We have since told them, we want a governor who is a homeboy, not all these Lagos cowboys who are economic predators and buccaneers coming to feast on our collective patrimony. We won't continue to indulge in all kinds of shenanigans. So for God's sake, if he wants to go to Court of Appeal, it's okay, but I'll see that as rather waste of time. Because Edo people have already, they are already in sync with Monday Okpebolo as a governor who is already performing. He's already building flyover, he's building roads, he's constructing schools. The schools they touted of having done. We saw the dilapidated buildings. You have seen visuals of very rotten state of our schools. They call it Edo Best, Edo this. We just pay 160 million to one consultant every month, doing nothing. So for God's sake, we've moved on. We have moved beyond Court of Appeal. We have moved beyond Supreme Court. We have moved into the hearts of Edo people, and Edo people appreciate Governor Okpebolo for what he has been doing in the last 4 months. But
there's no doubt. I mean, you must expect that the Supreme Court would have a say on this issue along the road, down the road. Do you expect that?
Supreme Court will have a say, no doubt. But the kernel of this judgment also derived from previous verdicts of the Supreme Court, which are also part of our body of laws. So the Supreme Court cannot generate something out of nothing. What we have gotten at the tribunal is suggestive of the fact that the PDP, ab initio, had no strong case. And when you are advancing from the tribunal to the higher court, you are not going to be advancing fresh evidence. It is what was presented at the lower court that they will interrogate. And we are not going to present any fresh witness. You have already presented your 19 witnesses, 5 are polling unit agents, 14 others, and they just neither here nor there. They dwell so much on hearsay evidence. Election litigations are very technical, exercises. Very, very technical indulgence, such that if you are not prepared to go the whole hog and supply evidence, you don't have to belabor yourself going to the tribunal. And I told you before that even PDP in its own situation room record, I have a letter to that effect, written by Azegbemi, told INEC national chairman, asking for a review of the election. They tabulated the results of INEC, they tabulated the result of their situation room. And in their situation room result, we won by 4,963. But they are quarreling that why would the gap be 40 something? So they were trying to be clever by half, asking for invalidation of some polling units so that it can cancel out 4,963. That was what they were trying to do, trying to be clever by half. And the tribunal said, but you have not advanced reasons. A polling unit agent is a good eyewitness because he stays there to count. And don't forget that these results that they are complaining about were signed by their agents. The ones that they complain about, some of them, INEC on its own had already, cancelled those results from polling units. So when we presented 4 witnesses, they were laughing at us. They didn't know that we knew what we were doing because we are the victors. We won the election. We don't need to belabor ourselves trying to prove to anybody because the results from INEC were already presented before the tribunal. The onus of proof rests squarely on the shoulders of the PDP. They didn't do that. So when you are advancing to appeal court and Supreme Court, you are not going to be generating this. And if they are thinking that they can buy their way through, they will be joking.
Let me ask you this final question. Just hours before the tribunal issued its judgment, I mean, there were obviously fake judgments that circulated on social media. What do you make of that?
You can see that what was leaked was completely different from it was completely different.
So what do you think could have been the intention?
PDP wanted to create a scenario or try to generate a judgment that will
Are you saying PDP was behind? Are you saying PDP was behind it?
Yes, of course. PDP was behind that. They wanted to sell a fake judgment to the justices so that they will back it up. They will back it up with money. I told you before. I wrote an article that sometimes 3-4 weeks ago they tried to assemble in one SAN's office. I won't mention the name, where they agreed that they were going to raise 3 billion naira. At the end of the day, I wouldn't know whether they were able to raise that money, but in this game, those justices were very categorical that everybody should stay away from them. They want to address this issue on point of law. Law is law. If you cannot argue your case from the point of law, you don't need to belabor yourself trying to look for huge money somewhere to come and bribe them and all that. I think we must commend Justice Wilfred Akpochi's led tribunal. If you listen to him at the tribunal, they took time, about 6 hours, 7, to read out the judgment. And if you see point of law, they granted some of their motions. They granted 4 of our motions. The 8 motions were being canvassed, 4-4. But the issues of overvoting, the issues of overvoting, electoral fraud and what have you, they couldn't prove their case. And so it fell flat like a pack of cards. And so that's why the tribunal said they lacked merit, because they couldn't have generated, they could not have generated this thing for them. So that's the position.
All right. Kasim Afegwa, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI 360, dissecting the issues.